My name is Tommy and I am a mask and puppet maker. In this video I will be showing you how to make the great Papyrus. Enjoy the tutorial! To make the skull, crumble newspaper into the shape of a large ball. To make the chest, crumble newspaper into the shape of a large bean. To make the shoulders, crumble newspaper into the shape of a small ball. Make another one. Make the hips by crumbling newspaper into a shape of a half ball. To make the boots, crumble a newspaper egg and flatten it. Then crumble a newspaper sausage and stack it on top. Again, crumble a newspaper egg and flatten it. Then crumble a newspaper sausage and tape it on top. And you will now have a pair of boots. Just like that, a pair of boots. Okay, so once you have so this is the skull right here. Here's the chest plate, and these are actually the shoulders. These. And here are the boots, right here. So, Papyrus is now ready to be covered in paper mache. We still have some bones to make, but that'll come a little bit later. But first, I wanna cover this up, so let's do that. So to make the glue mixture, you will need to mix 1 part water and 1 part white glue. So what you do first is you brush on the surface area, just like I did, and then once you have covered it in glue, you put on your tissue paper. In this case, I'm actually using toilet paper. It's cheap and very effective. And then you want to brush on the glue on top of the toilet paper or tissue paper, whatever you're using. Another layer here. You want to keep doing this until you have at least 3 or 4 layers. Alright, so the next thing that our skeleton needs are, well, some bones. So when I mean bones, we're talking about the arms and the legs, and he's even got a spine that shows. So we're gonna do that right now. So we're gonna cut some sheets, some strips. Alright, so when you are using knives and scissors, please note that these things are extremely sharp. Please get an adult to help you and always cut away from yourself, okay? Please be very careful, kids. And of course, you know, this is your project. You can make him shorter or taller, however you want, but he is taller than his brother Sam. Okay, I made 7. I'm going to use 1 for the spine. That's actually a lot smaller, so I'm just going to trim that there. Alright, so just roll it in the direction of the grain. Roll it in this direction, not the other way. It will be very difficult to roll it, and it won't look very good. So it's going to be much easier just to roll it this way. Okay, so the arms should look like this, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Take some newspaper. So you're going to roll 2 of these newspaper. Tape it up. Once you have that, you're just going to attach them. You want to make sure they have a bit of a curve, like a bow. And it should look like that. And that's how you make the arm. So now I'm going to cover it in paper mache, and you'll have something that looks like this. This skeleton wears gloves. You can choose to either give him fingered gloves. Honestly, in the game, I don't think I've actually seen this character with fingers, so I believe he's actually wearing mitts. But you are more than welcome to give... You can do it either way. I'm going to make him mitts. I'm going to tape my fingers together. Ha 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 ha. This is fun. A pair of used gloves. Don't worry, I have another pair for gluing. These are just some spares that I have. Now I'm just going to cover it all in paper. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stuff it with newspaper so that it keeps the shape. You can give him gloves if you want. That's entirely optional, okay? I'm just going to point that out there. But just for the sake of doing something different, and I've never made mitts before, so that's what I'm going to do. And you can't stop me. Okay, so I've made Papyrus's boots a little bit taller. So yeah, that's what I've done here. You can make it taller, shorter, that's entirely up to you. Yeah, the next thing I want to do is I want to give these feet some bottoms here. So I'm going to put some cardboard bottoms on there so it's nice and flat. Yeah, this looks a lot better now. So what you need to do is you need to take the boots and you just need to trace around the bottom of the boots on a sheet of cardboard like I am right now. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut them out. Careful with scissors, kids. Now when using glue guns, please know that this stuff is extremely hot. So to protect yourself from burns, please wear gloves. All you gotta do is you need to just glue it onto the bottom and cover it in paper mache. You're going to do the same thing to the other boot. You just glue it onto the bottom. Fabulous looking boots now. I'm going to set those aside. We'll cover them up later. Like I said, I made him just a little bit taller because he's got some nice tall boots. Because he looks fabulous in those boots. There. Now the bottoms are nice and flat. Now if you want to make the boots look even nicer, we can add a heel to the bottom here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Because Papyrus needs to look fabulous. So basically what you need to do is you just need to trace only half of that. I'm actually going to use both of these. Just like that. You just glue it there. I'm actually just going to trace another one just to save a little time. There, now we're going to glue them to the bottom of the boots. Just like this. Doesn't need a lot of glue. He actually has a bit of a ring around here, the hips. So I'm actually going to add that right now. Just like that. That's all you gotta do. Just wrap some newspaper around. Can you see that? Yeah. That's what you need to do. An empty toilet tape. I can't talk today. An empty toilet taper. An empty toilet paper spool. There, I said it. I'm just going to cut that in half. I'm going to hot glue that on. Just don't forget your gloves. This stuff is extremely hot. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the collar. just like that. I'm going to tape it on so that you can see it a little better. So that's what you want to do for the collar. I will be making him a real scarf. And these are the shoulders. Now I'm going to need to attach a ring on each one of them. Like that, because that's where the bones will be connected to. We just need really small, thin rings. And I'm just going to use the toilet paper spool again. And now, the skull. So I'm just going to cut the bottom part of this off. And now I'm going to use that for the lower jaw, or the mandible, however you want to say it. Okay, so for the gloves, I decided I want to give him one finger, the index finger. So I'm just going to take some scissors and I'm just going to cut that. And then Papyrus can actually point. He'll be able to point. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then the rest will be enclosed. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to start covering everything with paper mache. Alright, so I made a mistake here. This is way too big, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And the back needs to be trimmed off. So let's do that right now. There. Alright, that's a lot better. And now we're going to trim this. We're going to make it look like a half moon. This is the bottom jaw, or the mandible. We're going to trim that along here. There. That's starting to look more like him. Now let's make the eye holes. Right there. And of course for the nose, you just draw a little triangle. And there you go. That's Papyrus's skull. Yeah, this is starting to look like him. He just needs to have the teeth on. And I'm actually just going to add just a little something in between to make it look more skeleton-like. Just a tiny strip of cardboard or whatever scrap paper you have. Like this. To make them look a little more realistic. Now I just need to paper mache this. So let's put all paper mache on that right now. Okay, now for the boots, I'm going to trim the top so it's nice and flat. Now take a sheet of cardboard, trace the bottom of the boot, or I guess the top in this case. And now we're going to glue this. Do the same thing to the other. And once that dries, I'm going to start covering everything in paper mache. So now we need to attach the detail on Papyrus's chest. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut out a tiny little triangle, like that. Cut out some tiny rectangles. And we're going to hot glue them onto the right side of the chest. Like that. Okay, for the gloves, we're going to trim the sleeves off. Alright, so now we need to put the teeth onto the skull. So here's Papyrus's skull. So cut out 4 squares, 4 larger squares, because he's got 4 teeth on the top. And I'm going to hot glue them on, of course. Okay, so I'm going to cut an opening at the bottom here so we can tuck in the bottom 6 teeth. Okay, so now you're going to want to cut 6 smaller teeth. They should be smaller than the upper teeth. Now we're going to put them in, and we're going to tuck them in where we cut the opening. Alright, so now for the gloves, we need to put the cardboard inserts in. So you need to take a sheet of cardboard, trace around the bottom of the glove, like that, cut it out. Now you're going to put it in like this, just like that. Do the same thing to the other glove. Now we'll need an empty toilet paper spool and cut out 2 rings. And you're going to glue it at the end here. Just like that. Do that to the other glove. And then cover those in paper mache. Just a little something I'm going to do here. I'm going to knock off part of the nose here, just to there. That'll just make the nose just a little bit more realistic, more skeleton-like. And where the teeth are, I'm just gonna cut right where the gaps are. I'm gonna cut the gaps open. Alright, so now it is time to assemble. What I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using some chain. And I'm going to be using these wire cutters. These are metal cutters. They've got carbide steel on it. So these are really good. And when you're using chain, you always need to wear your safety glasses. Always when you're cutting chain. But however, I realize a lot of you may not have access to chain. So I'm going to show you how to do it with pipe cleaner first. So I'm going to be using hot glue. So you also need your gloves. So we're going to take these two pieces here and I'm going to show you how to attach them. So the first thing you need to do is you need to poke a hole in the middle like that. Make another hole on the other piece. And this is where we're going to be attaching them. So I'm going to cut the pipe cleaner and you are going to make a loop. Like that. Should kind of look like a fish without the tail. And then you're going to take the other pipe cleaner and you are going to put it right through the loop and you're going to make another loop. And it should resemble a chain. And then you're going to glue it one end from here and you're going to glue the other end to the other piece. So, like that. So I'm going to just show you that, what it looks like when it's glued. So there. And once it's dry, you should have, and that will work, this will also work just as good. I'm going to use chain because I want this to last, and I want it to look nice. But now you know what to do if you don't have chain. You can use pipe cleaner or anything similar. Twist ties will work, yep. So, alright, so I'm going to start with the chain. So put on your safety glasses whenever you are cutting chain. So what you will need a length of 3. So I'm going to cut this here. Just like that. And then you should have something that looks like this. And you're going to put one link in only. And then put the other link on the other piece. And then you should have something that looks like this. Kind of like a pair of nunchucks almost. Gonna let that cool. Alright, so we're going to do that to every single piece that we have. Alright, so let's put our puppet together. Alright, we are ready to paint Papyrus. So the colors you will need, of course, are black and white. And let's see, you can use a yellow, but I'm actually going to be using a gold color for the rings that we had made. You'll definitely need a red color, and you'll need a blue color for sure. So those are the colors that we are definitely going to need. Alright, so let's start painting Papyrus. Okay, so now let's attach the jaw to the skull. You'll need to cut off 2 strips of cardboard. So cut 2 strips of cardboard, and we're going to attach them like this. So we're going to glue the cardboard to the bottom jaw. And we're just going to round them off like this. I'm going to glue them on like so. Now to make it look nice, I'm going to cover it in paper mache. Alright, so now we need to attach the lower jaw to the skull. So you just want to connect it like so. What we need to do is we need to put some screws on the side. Do the same thing on the other side. You should be able to make Papyrus talk. It'll be a little bit tight at first, but once you start working with it, it's not so bad. To be or not to be, that is the question. So now let's attach this to the body. Our lovable Papyrus is just about done. So I'm going to add the finishing gloss on him. So if you don't want to use chemical spray, just paint the entire thing with just glue, let it dry, and it will be nice and shiny. This is a lot faster. So I'm going to be wearing safety glasses. I highly advise you do the same. And make sure you have good ventilation. So open a window or wear one of these. Alright, so let's get started. So what we need to do, we need to add the handle. So this is, you can get these for about $5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on right now. Alright, so now we have the handle attached. We just need to add a lever, so we're going to make one right now. So cut this thing in half. Don't forget your safety glasses. Get an adult to help you with this. So what you want to do is you want to glue this on an angle. I'm just going to use these blocks just to keep them held up while the glue dries. But yeah, we're just going to glue it. So here it is, the lever. So what we need to do now, and we just need to glue it onto here. So it's just going to be attached like this. Now Papyrus is almost finished. So all we need to do, we need to make him a nice, fabulous looking scarf. So to do that, I'm going to be using some red fabric. And I'm just going to glue it with fabric tack or some permanent adhesive. That's what I'm going to use. So, just make sure you have good ventilation when doing this, because this stuff does give off fumes. It also bonds to your skin. So be careful with that. Okay, so how it works is, when you want to make the jaw move, that's all you have to do. I'll show you from here. And there you go, you have a puppet. It's the Great Papyrus. Well, there you have it. You now have the Great Papyrus. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial as much as I enjoyed making him. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now go make yourself a puppet friend.